What's up guys, my name is Lex Veldhuis and welcome to another episode of Learn with Lex. Today I jumped into the $2 6 max. I'm hoping to play a lot of turbo tournaments, lots of short stack situations. Now this tournament might cycle heavily because we're going to be playing so short, and that's all we care about. So I'm going to make some ridiculously short buy-ins to show you guys some short stack play and how to maneuver as a short stack. Thank you for all the feedback that you've given me because it's been really awesome. I'm going to call here. I do really well against a lot of his raising. In these kind of situations from the blinds, I'd rather shove with offsuited King 10 than suited, because suited just plays better post-flop, right? So if I go post-flop, then I'd rather have the hand that I like playing there more. Of course, especially because we're going to be talking a lot about patience and how much a short stack is worth. Check the timer up top. That's where you can see the runtime of my session. So sometimes you might see a hand, boom, 10 minutes later, boom, 15 minutes later. That means I didn't play a single hand for that period of time. All right, so we're going to be calling here. Our top pair can still win. We're also in the big blind, so the moment we call here, our opponent should be at least a slight bit concerned for the fact that we can have a club. And I do think that they're just value betting a lower club. I also think that people generally are playing very honest at these stakes, right? So if somebody bets this, they just want to get slight value. If they bet 4, then they might be bluffing because they want you to fold. If they bet 7, then all of a sudden it looks like they do have like the jack or ace of clubs. It's like people play very honestly, so I'm going to give them the credit. Blinds are going up, nice. Let's keep the info tabs on everywhere. I'm going to keep playing in big blinds, especially in this format. It's going to be very important. All right, we have 12 big blinds, very easy shove. If we have, don't go into automatic all-in mode from a small blind. If you have a hand like King 9, King 10, it's actually really nice to call because you dominate all the weaker kings and 9s that are going to check. And there's also going to be some shoves from hands like King Deuce that you obviously dominate. A hand like King 5, though, doesn't have that same benefit. You don't dominate as many kings. So now I'm just going to shove my high card value and the fact, you know, it's usually good to shove with high cards because it makes the chance less that your opponents have them. So one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that you can still play a lot of hands from the big blinds. You don't have to start folding. It's actually impossible to make big mistakes just because you don't have that many chips. So it's super important to remember that. Okay, and now we're gonna raise. When we're this short, don't also revert to just jamming. It actually takes away all the possibilities you have to bluff. So min raising when you're short is absolutely fine. You're going to get tons of folds from people as well. It's absolutely fine also to just take it easy next street and we can just jam the river for value. This hand feels very clinical in that sense, and we're going to get called a lot by hands like Queen Jack or Queen 10 or Ace 9, and that's absolutely fine. And this is what I'm saying. It's absolutely fine to go broke in a tournament with a hand that might seem marginal because we only lost 12 big blinds, right? We saw flop King 7 versus Ace 9, flop top pair versus trips. What are you going to do? All right, so you're going to see me buy in a lot. Not all of these entries are a good idea. I just want to show you guys how to short stack some games. Of course, when you're playing yourself, you have to realize that if you register like this 750 hyper, if you register this tournament from the start, it's a 750. If you register it with 12 big blinds, it actually becomes more like a $12 tournament because of the swings and how often you're immediately going to have to go all in and rely on a short stack. So think about that when you're doing bankroll management. You can't just randomly blast tournaments at the last second. This specifically goes for bounty builders, because in bounty builders, when a tournament has been running, a majority of the people are going to have busted. As you can see here, like almost half the field busted already. That means that all of those bounties are gone and won't be able to be won by yourself. Okay, so 12 big blinds. Make sure you be patient. There's no point in just jamming this because it just has no value. You would even fold a hand like King 7 suited here, King 8 suited, because it's just not good enough to go all in with. All right, this hand's definitely good. We're going to go all in. Ace 5, and this just shows the power of this. One more low card. It's good. Now we dodge a 5, and we are good to go. And now it's 25 big blinds. Smooth sailing. All right, so we see an 11 big blinds stack calling. There's a jam. I think this is a little bit too much for us to call. I think there's going to be a lot of ace high hands, some pairs in there. Not a whole lot of hands we dominate. I actually think that hands like Queen Jack might be a little bit more prone to just raise. And we see aces take it. So they were slow playing. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of limps with aces, but you have to understand aces and kings is only 12 combinations together, right? There's only 12 combinations of that hand. And I know we don't talk about combos too much and it might seem a little bit complicated, but the important thing to remember is that let's say they also limp ace-10 offsuit and ace-10 suited. That's 16 combos already. Let's say they also do it with ace-queen. Now that's 32 combos, right? So you have to think about how often it actually is able to occur. If you think in your head, oh, that's a limper, they're going to have aces. They only need like a few other hands for you not to worry about it anymore. That's not a raise from the hijack. This is very standard. You can go all in on the button up with deuces, threes, and fours up to 25 big blinds. It's too bad to run into jacks. Not much you're gonna do there. I'll take a 5 though. Too bad. All right, let's try again. I will call. Actually, it sucks because now I don't get to re-enter anymore because of that. So now I need to make a Fint and Scum run, or I need to find a tournament. Wow. This person's not kidding around. Alright, that's fine. We will look for a new tournament where we're short. And this also goes to show, right? Like, this really illustrates like how volatile it is to register a tournament short stack. Alright, we're gonna open here. King 10 of hearts. We are definitely not in all-in or fold territory yet. That will take a while. But as you saw with the pocket threes, of course, there's also some bigger numbers that you're gonna be going all in with. It's very important to know all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's very easy to study. On BBC Poker, you have charts. It teaches you anything you want to know about what kind of short stacks you can go all in with. All right, I'm going to min-raise queens. No other sizing. We have 20 big blinds now, which means we're just going to be min-raising. No need to make it any bigger. Pretty good boards. We want to check this board sometime, though. The button is going to have some hits. We don't always want to bet our pairs and then check fold all our non-pairs. So it's going to check. Even if they check back, it's very easy for me to get the money in. Now this is really nice. They bet pretty large. If they had bet 2 or something, I would have just check raised to 7. Now I think it's appropriate to just go all in. Get value from all his 9, 8, some protection against straight draws. He might call with 6 to 7s. If they have a set, I would have gone broke no matter what. So that's an absolute non-factor. And there we go. Jack 9 off. Gets there. But illustrates how easy it is to get all in versus a pair, and it's also really nice to it's about protecting yourself, right? Like you notice on some boards, right? Like this is a very important concept. Might be a little bit, because now we're also thinking about like what the other person have and like a sort of more umbrella thinking about a situation. But if you notice that you are going to have to, that you cannot bet your weak hands or your bluffs or whatever on a board because it's just so awful, right? You raise pre-flop and the board is Jack 10-9 with 2 hearts and you have Ace 5 of spades. Or you have Ace King, or you have Ace 7 of diamonds, right? Like all these hands, pocket eights, all these hands where you're just like, oh, this is an awful board. I have to check this board so much. In those moments, it's usually a good idea to also check some of your stronger hands. If you have to check a board so often, then you really want to start checking some of your strong hands as well. And that's what I did there with the queens. All right, with pocket jacks, 18 big blinds, only one move. Easy katka. All in, hope to get called. I believe this is the Jack 9 person from earlier, so maybe they have the hots for me. And, well, hello there. Ever heard the joke? 3 farmers walk into a barn. That's easy life. This is the moment when the cards go open and they have hearts and then you rage, you know? Never easy. Yes. Oh, no outs. No outs. Nice. Boom. Easy. 52 big blinds. Both players called way too loose, which is nice. And I think that this illustrates also a perfect thing in lower stakes, where people say, oh, you won't believe all the random shit you see. Yes, but it also gets offset by somebody drawing dead with Jack 10. So it doesn't matter that they're going to have 6-8 suited sometime and win, you know? I'm going to raise for value here. Short stack, don't have to shove. 20 big blinds deep. There's tons of hands we can raise with. If they go all in, we just call. Easy. All right, we raise with 7s here, and we're just going to call all in. Very easy. 14 big blinds. We call with any pair that we open. We just got to fade it. It's not really a good card because that can happen, but, you know, it's absolutely fine. 27 bigs. I want it to be short anyway for this video, so we're going to continue on. And we're going to fold this. I would say king, queen suited. We need to call here again. This is all stuff that you can get from charts. I mentioned this a lot. BBC Poker has charts for calling, whatever. Just learn. And also learn in like complete overview strategies, right? Don't just sink in and think, king jack is a fold. And then stop learning. You need to, what do we call generally in this situation? That's how you study, right? So just get away from it. But it's easy. All right, we have pocket 6s here. Very easy open. Make it a little bit more. So a lot of people ask me what's the point of 2.05 big blinds. It just doesn't look like a min raise. It doesn't look like a min raise, and it actually gets more folds. You charge it a little bit more, which makes a slight difference, but I think the adjustment people make to it doesn't warrant the difference between a min raise and this. So all right, they want the pot. They can have it. It's no point shoving hands like that. You're relying on bluffs, right? When you have ace-3, you're not relying on people calling with the hands that are good. All right, we're gonna raise here. Ace-8 under the gun. Easy raise. Remember, guys, any suited ace except for ace-deuce under the gun is a raise. Ace-deuce would be a raise here anyway because there's a person missing. So technically, we're under the gun +1. Okay, so we're up against the big blinds. We're up against somebody who called us under the gun +1, which is a little bit scary. I'm just going to start with a check, see how it goes. 10 is awful. Won't be betting that one either. No points. If I start betting at this point, I'm actually representing more than I have, right? If I bet here, then I'm saying I have a 10 or maybe a slow play jack or something like that. And, you know, if you're representing more than you actually have, how can you get value from your hand? One big blind bet in position, it's never a good idea. Gonna call. If I have a 10 here, I'm definitely raising, by the way. Could definitely be some sort of queen 10 suited or ace 10 hand that doesn't really know how to get value. This is an awful idea. You don't want to open up the betting. What if you get jammed on now? But it's very easy. King 8. Probably a good idea to check the turn, but nice for us. And we win a smooth little pot. All right, we're going to make it 3.2 big blinds. Obviously, 11 big blind limper isn't completely not scary, but something that we have to realize is the fact that there's only a few amounts of aces or king. Against kings, we're not even doing that poorly. And how much jack 10 suited, king jack off is there that people call, right? You see people call all the time on these stakes. So you can't just have this like fear of aces because you've seen it a few times, right? So often they just give it up and you just win the money. Or you print versus a hand like ace 10, right? We're going to raise here. Could have made it 2.05 big blinds. All right, we raise pre-flop here. We're going to continuation bet. Great board for us. Small blind short gets it in. Obviously, we're never folding this. Ace high flush draws, we take to war. We go to the fucking pits of Mount Doom for this one. And we're just going to get it all in. Of course, there could be some slow plays like 4-3, king 4, but whatever. We have the ace high flush draw, so don't really need to overthink. Nice. Too bad, but fine. Lost the dead money from the small. I'm gonna raise. We have a very good hand. There's definitely still play when you're 17 big blinds deep. A little bit concerning this flop, but I think my hand is just too good not to bet. Think about all the hands that they limp call from a small blind, right? Hands like 10-9, etc. Look, it's 10-9. 10 jack. And we lose that one, but we have obviously great equity on this board and we don't always want to check it. We're just going to re-enter. 12 big blinds, right in my wheelhouse. Okay, we're just going to fold, even though we only have 9 big blinds left. It's absolutely fine. No need to panic. Okay, 4.5 big blinds. This is actually a great gift for us. They're going to be super wide. This is already like, you know, something you might not expect. And ace-6 does really well. 4 big blinds. People are going to be all in with jack-7 suited. 6-5 suited, you name it. So ace-6 is a print for us there. And we didn't even have to risk our whole stack, but we do get above the danger zone. I would definitely say that 10 big blinds is a little bit of the danger zone. but we're cool. Easy jam. We have 7.5 big blinds. They're not really that healthy either. So this is actually a fold for 9 big blinds, believe it or not. And we are getting closer to the money. Again, don't go crazy. We have a full round of hands. King 8 offsuit is pretty dog shit. Ace 9, 9 big blinds. Easy all in. Any suited ace would be an easy all in here. For 10 bigs. Short stacking is so relaxing. Like, a lot of people look at it as stressful, but it's so much more stressful. This is also an all in. It's so much more stressful to play a really crazy game 80 big blinds deep, even though you're sitting on a fat stack, you know? We got called. 39%. Not bad for a queen high hand. But that's all she wrote. Alright guys, that spells the end of the video. If you like the video, make sure you like the video. And that you all subscribe to the channel. That really shows me that you guys are a fan of the segment and you want to see it continue. Obviously, this segment is going to be back every week. If you have any questions, drop them down below in the chat. I also have a very active Discord server where people are posting strategy. It has its own forum section. That link is in the description. I'm super active on there. I almost reply in every single strategy thread that we have. So if you want to have a direct line in against me, talk to some other people about poker, that's a good place to be. If not, fine. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out. Thanks for watching.